Greetings and thank you for stopping by my page or channel and joining in on this conversation. I want to first give a shout out to all of the good men and real women out here. You are very much appreciated. And now let's get into it. Modern females. I want you all to come on in and have a seat. I want to speak with you for a second. And of course, good men, you're always welcome to sit down and listen to this conversation. But I want to speak to these modern females for a second. I want to ask you all if you see what's going on right now. I really want to know, because it doesn't seem like you all do. Things are getting really bad for you all, not men, you all. Now, I know some of you will cite that article, The Rise of Lonely and Single Men, but what you don't understand is that men move off into the woods by themselves because men can be by themselves and still be okay. But females are social creatures, so they need to be around other people. So modern females having these ridiculous relationship standards are not just keeping men from having as many relationships as they used to have, but it's also getting you all ran through by the small percentage of men who you all like, who don't even have those characteristics that they're saying in this article. Just everything is backwards. And why is that? It's because you all aren't listening. You're not listening to what men are telling you. But why? Why aren't you listening? It's because you're being fed that what it is that you want and need is all that matters. You're being fed that you don't need no man. You're being fed that you should be strong and independent. You're being fed that you should be sexually liberated. You've been being fed this mess for the past dang near half a century. And how are you being fed this mess? Through corporations doing all of this propaganda via movies, television, commercials, the whole nine. Now, I just want you all to think about this, because this just blew my mind when I saw it, because it was just a flat out scene that showed the difference between men and women, the difference between males and females. Now, most people have probably heard of a female named China. Used to be in the WWE. She passed away, rest in peace. I'll never forget watching her in a match one time. Now, China looks like a guy, like how she's built. She looks like a bodybuilder dude. Like if she stood next to the guys in the WWE, she looked just like them. She did stand next to them and she looked like them. We're talking about size-wise. But something happened while she was wrestling about which I'll never forget. She was wrestling this one guy, and if you know anything about wrestling, wrestling is not fake. It's staged. It's a huge difference. When they fall on someone, they fall on them, but what they do is they let the brunt of the blow be absorbed by the ring and not the person. So instead of them hitting the person with 100% of the force, the person only gets hit with 20% of the force, and the 80% is absorbed by the ring. So when you're wrestling, you have to do different staged things that look great, but try to give minimal damage because you don't want to damage the merchandise, which are the actual wrestlers. So China was wrestling a guy, and when you throw the guy into the ring rope, when they come back, if you clothesline them, what you're supposed to do is hit them right below where their neck is. Okay? You don't hit them in the neck because of the danger of damage to the esophagus. You hit them right below the neck. Okay, right at that like kind of collarbone area. You hit them right there, and they're supposed to fall one way, and you're supposed to follow through with your clothesline another way. So let's say that your clothesline goes north, and they're supposed to fall south. Okay, great. I'll never forget this. China threw a guy into the ring rope. When he came back, she swung at him for the clothesline. And when she hit him, for a moment, she forgot she was a woman. She forgot she was of the female sex. She forgot that. And what happened was, when she went to clothesline him and follow through to go north and he falls south, the force of this man hitting her arm knocked her south. So instead of her going north and him going south, they both went south. He fell, but she stumbled. Why? Have you seen China? She looked just like the dude. She looked as big as them. But the difference was she doesn't have the muscle mass. She doesn't have the bone density of a man. She doesn't have the lung capacity of a man. So it didn't matter that she looked the same size as them. The force of that man up against her female body knocked her backwards. This is why men are just rolling their eyes and just kind of chuckling like, what the freak, at this first She-Hulk episode. Because it's frustrating to men that what is happening now with television shows and movies, even commercials and marketing, is that they're trying to make females stronger than males, but not just make them stronger than males. They're trying to make the females stronger than males by dogging the males and making the males look weak. So it's not just, hey, I'm strong and you're strong too. I just so happen to be stronger. It's not just that. It's that I'm strong and look at you, poor minuscule man. This She-Hulk episode, I put my hands on my head. I just was like, come on, y'all. Come on. Men have to struggle in life. Men have to fight through adversity. Men have to fight through some insane things. And most of the time, men say nothing about it. They just deal with it and keep going. But here in this She-Hulk episode, although this man, David Banner, Bruce Banner, what's his name? I think it's Bruce Banner, right? Bruce Banner. David Banner's a rapper, right? So it's Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner spent 15 years trying to control the monster inside of him, making different devices to try and to keep himself from doing damage to the community and the whole nine. Although that's what he spent all of these years doing, fighting wars, literal infinity wars, fighting. He went through all of that in order to get himself to the point where he merged both himself and the Hulk, which he calls Smart Hulk. Somebody named it, but they call it Smart Hulk, right? All those years, decade and a half. Here he is. He gets cut in an accident. Spoiler alerts, by the way. He gets cut. She gets some of his blood into her. And within 10 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that, she's able to control her transformation. She's able to be calm. She doesn't have a Hulk inside of her fighting against her regular self. She just goes from nothing to mastery in 20 minutes. And men are sitting there looking like, what the frick? Come on, man. Come on. This is the same problem people had with the new Skywalker series for Star Wars. This is the same problem. People are like, how does she go from not having any skill at all to being Jedi level skill in one movie? And they look at Luke and everything he had to go through, getting his hand cut off, his father finding out that he was Darth Vader, and just all these different things. Dang, they're getting eaten up by that thing that was in the ground. All of this different stuff through which Luke had to go, overcoming the dark side, fighting through the whole nine. But then here comes, I think her name is Rey or Rhea. Here she comes, and boom, instant Jedi. Let's even go to Supergirl, because I saw this too. I just was like, Jesus, man, what? Supergirl. Superman and Lois is a show that has the same character that showed up as Superman in Supergirl, her cousin. In that series, he ended up getting like silver kryptonite in him or something. And he ended up turning on Supergirl, and they ended up brawling. I'm talking about life or death. And she beat him. And I'm sitting there like, come on, man. This dude's like 6'3". He's been doing this for a decade plus or whatever, longer than her. And what happens? She gets there and somehow she beats him. And then his dumb self tells her, oh, you're the strongest being on the planet. And I'm sitting there like, come on, writers. Come on. Come on. This 6'2", 6'3" man, this 5'0" female, somehow he's Superman, supposedly like the strongest being on the planet. She comes in and all of a sudden this female could just beat this 6'3" man who's been doing this 10 times longer than her. I'm just like, you've got to stop making yourself look strong and independent by tearing down the strength and masculinity of men. Men are not asking you to stop being strong. Men are not asking you to stop being women who can take care of business. That's not for what men are asking. For what men are asking is for you to be able to work with men and follow men's leadership, because that's for what men were built. Men are asking for you to stop trying to emasculate them. Men are asking to stop trying to prop yourself up by tearing men down. In that She-Hulk episode, she just kept insulting her cousin. And I'm sitting there like, why does she think that's okay? Why does she think it's okay for her to dog this guy and he's an Avenger? Why does she think this is okay? It's because this is the world in which we currently live. To where you can say anything negative about men, but if you try to say something negative about females, canceled. Even on TikTok. The men are useless hashtag has 10.5 million views, but you can't even use the women are useless hashtag. They won't let you use it. At least not at this moment. Think about that. You can't use women are useless hashtag on TikTok, but TikTok already has 10.5 million views on the men are useless hashtag. This is why men are just going their own way. Because men are just sick of this. But when men say these things that are valid concerns, I just laid out how they're doing this insanity. I just laid out what it is men are saying and what it is men want. You know what's going to come back to me via this video, via the comment section, via whatever? You know what's going to come back? Oh, you just insecure. Stop crying. Man up. Why are you worried about A, B, and C? You just don't want women to be this because we strong and we independent and we don't need y'all no more. Y'all need to level up. That's all the insanity that's going to come back. What the manosphere calls sign language. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. This is why men are going overseas. Because men are just sick and tired of females in this country. I'm in America, by the way. Just not listening, not trying to work with men. They're just sick of it. And guess what? They're going to try to shoot the messenger, me. They'll probably come back around to this once my following grows to a particular point. They'll probably try to come back around and use this video to try and get me canceled or something, when I'm literally trying to express to you all what men want and why. And what I'm saying is not something crazy. Men are just saying, stop insulting, stop belittling, stop emasculating us, and start trying to work with us. Start trying to be interdependent instead of being independent. Is that too much to ask? I don't think so. But you modern females seem to think that it's too much to ask. But you'll see, because it is not in any way going to end well for you all. Not at all. Tell me what you think about my thoughts in the comment section. And be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you all.